Alright, so friendly reminder. Friendly reminder, your Barron's book is due on March 29th. That is this coming Thursday. If you do not have a Barron's book, do not come to my class. I don't want to see you live life, try to hide out there, cutting my class. I'll be more than happy to report you cutting my class, by the way. Get your damn Barron's book. I've been reminding you since before you started my class. So, damn it, do it. This weekend, you should get your outline done. It is 20 points because it's a full outline. Is everyone clear on that? Your index cards are on week 28 and week 28 only. You can do all 60, friends. You ain't getting points for all 60. I'm only asking you to do 30 and only week 28. Is everyone clear on that? Yeah. Okay, because, like, first period, I had a girl last period say, oh, well, I did all of week 29 vocab.
Why?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to illustrate here. So, make sure you get your outline done because it is a full chapter. So, yesterday, we were talking about, we started therapy, looking at all the big, broad categories of it. Yesterday, we covered psychoanalysis, talking about Freud, talking about all of his strategies. We started then with Rogers person-centered, and that's where we left off. Is that correct?
What were the tools of psychoanalysis?
The tools are going to be your manifest content, latent content for dream interpretation, and then you're going to use free association. Those are your tools. And manifest content, latent content of dream interpretation. So, person-centered is where we left off. This is a non-directive. Who can raise your hand and tell me what it means to be non-directive? We got Valentino. I missed all of that. I'm so sorry. Say it one more time for me.
When the therapist is like behind the chair, and they're not being like they're not in front of you.
It doesn't have to be that. For psychoanalysts, yes. For psychoanalysts, it does because they don't want you to see their face and their reaction to what you're saying, so you keep doing stream of consciousness kind of thing. So not quite. Gabriel? Yeah, they're just sitting there listening. They say, hey, Gabriel, how are you? And then Gabriel will talk for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then they'll say, hey, Gabriel, have a great day. And Gabriel will be like, thanks, I'm out. And that's it. So what is directive therapy like, Christina?
It's more like a conversation.
Absolutely. So Christina comes into my office. I'm like, hey, Christina, how are you? And she's like, good. How was your day today? You know, anything good happened? And she's like, oh my God, the best thing happened. I had AP Psych today and it was awesome. Oh my God, Miss Bennett's my favorite teacher. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so glad to hear it. She sounds like a really incredible human. Miss Bennett, damn. She sounds great.
To be honest.
Huh? Gross. No. Alright, so your next therapy is Gestalt. This is a new type. We finished person-centered, right? And I believe this is what, number 4?
Yeah.
Perfect. On your study guide, on your focus, it's number 4.
No, it's
5. Just kidding. That was fake news. It's 5. Okay. So, Gestalt therapy is when you look at the sum of the parts are greater than the individual parts. Okay. So, what they do is they accept all parts of your personality. They look at your behavior, your reflectiveness, the current person you are, and try to fix you as a whole, not just looking at one specific problem. So a lot of this is based on role-playing. It's not particularly that popular. However, it does do a really nice job dealing with body language. Okay? And it helps people accept not only their feelings and their experiences. Have you ever heard a therapist say, well, how did that make you feel? That is a Gestalt therapist. And that's what I would write in your application box on your study guide is, how does that make you feel? Because that's what they say over and over and over again. Huh? Well, I mean, it kind of makes you think about, process information a little bit differently. Because, I mean, we don't base things on how we feel about things all the time. Elijah, what would you like to share with the class? The what? Thank you for that. That was really great. Really insightful. Thank you. Okay, so when we're dealing with it, we're trying to make sure that people understand that not everything that we do say comes from what the words we say, but also our faces and our body language. I don't know if you've noticed, I have a very expressive face. in that when I'm not pleased, it's pretty clear that I'm not pleased. And if I'm judging you, it's also very clear. Not as bad as Toledo. Toledo used to be super bad.
No, she wasn't.
Oh my God. Well, then you don't know Toledo. What did you have her in, like, in elementary school?
Freshman year.
Oh, yeah. Then it's totally different. That wasn't the real Toledo. That was the fake imposter Toledo.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, gestalt therapy is all about how you feel and interacting and stuff like that. Anytime you see someone is like, well, treat me like I was your mother. Let's talk about this like I'm your mother. It's just all, how does that make you feel? I don't know why I had to say it in a low tone, but how does that make you feel? Makes me feel uncomfortable.
Sounds like you know.
All right, can I go? Yeah. All right. So, humanistic therapies are not based on experimental research. They're not really data-driven. However, there are some value to them. They're not that common. It only works well with intelligent and highly verbal people. You have to be able to express yourself and explain your thoughts or reasons and stuff like that. Who in our class we would describe as highly verbal? Maya absolutely is highly verbal. Everything you think, you have to say. Is it true?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a highly verbal person. Also, Elijah is very verbal. Nico is also very verbal. No, you're not. You're not. Weird, yes. Verbal, no. All right,
Wait,
so
can you go back?
what do you need?
I didn't see it all. Okay, thank you.
All right, behavior therapies. I like these. These are cool, and these are also the favorite of AP. They love this stuff.
Really?
They love it. See, you can't. You just can't.
There's one girl in my second period that's like that.
I'll actively try not to miss them.
Okay, let's not throw shade at people.
Was it you? Are you in a second period that he absolutely can't take it? Wasn't sure if he was trying to be kind. All right, so behavior therapies are action therapies on the principles of classic and operant conditioning. By the way, this is number 6. I'm going to be filling out here in a second. So behavior therapies are based on classical and operant conditioning. Who's the dude behind classical conditioning, JR? Pavlov. Yeah, your exam's in 5 weeks, man. Who's the dude? Who's the 2 dudes behind operant conditioning, Maddie?
Skinner and Binder.
No, he's observational.
Like a Skinner.
Skinner is correct. Who's the other guy that starts with a T? What is it? Thorndike. Yes. Remember, what is Thorndike's big claim to fame? Law of effect. Yes. Do we remember these things? That's not very good, JR. That's not very good at all. All right. So what we have is behavior modification. Now, behavior modification, if it's on your study guide, there's 2 boxes. One is just behavior modification. The other one is applied behavioral analysis. There is a difference. Let me tell you what behavior modification is. It is the systematic, you should write this down. It is the systematic change in behavior over a long period of time. Okay, it's a systematic change of behavior over a long period of time. We use behavior modification all the time. We use them with our animals. We use them with our boyfriends, girlfriends, and husbands. I have done behavior modification on my husband. Every time he sees flowers, he's like, oh, I should get them for my wife. It's very successful, by the way. Very successful. Behavior modification. When I first started training Toby, I used to give him a treat every time he pooped outside my house. So every time he pooped outside, he would get like a handful of treats when he was first learning to be potty trained. Now he's my little man. Now, do you think he gets treats every time he poops outside? No, he doesn't, because I have to pick up his turds. No, I should get the treat, not the dog. Anyway, that's behavior modification. Applied behavioral analysis. Yes.
If you never give him a treat again, what would occur?
I don't give him treats. I say, good boy, or I give him some sort of positive reinforcement. The treats were killing me. I was going financially bankrupt. Because he has to have grain-free treats.
Why?
Because he's allergic to everything. So, like, the treats were, like, super expensive. So he now just gets, like, a head rub or a good boy, or now he doesn't even really care. He just poops. Well, no, he's sick. He's sick, and I would like to report he had a solid poopy today. We went to the vet, and I spent $250 on medication. And the medication, I'm happy to report, is working. So at 5 o'clock this morning, I was clapping in the dog park all by myself because he had a real poop, not a puddle. That was a big improvement here. So applied behavior analysis is diagnosing. Applied behavior analysis is diagnosing inappropriate behaviors and coming up with a plan to change them. So applied behavior analysis is diagnosing inappropriate behaviors and coming up with a plan to address them or to fix them. So, an applied behavior analysis, I came up with a good one last period, I can't think of it. So if you hired a dating coach, for instance, applied behavior analysis is when they first meet you and they see that you eat like a weirdo. Like, no one wants to sit and look at that. Okay, so what they're going to do is a behavior analysis. So every single time they see, this is probably why people aren't continuing to date you, because it's disgusting to sit across from you. So the applied behavior analysis would then go ahead and figure out a way to change their eating habits. All right, so systematic desensitization is a technique in which we expose people gradually over time to help them overcome, and it's mostly used for phobias. So say, for instance, you had a phobia of spiders, okay? Every time you think of a spider, Max, or see a spider, you would freak the hell out, right? So what they would do, and I would take little notes on this on your application, is that the first time you meet your therapist, they would show you a picture of a spider. And just by seeing the photo, you're going to freak the hell out. The next meeting, you're going to see the spider. The therapist is going to show you the spider again, and you're going to freak a little less out. Then the third time you see the spider in the photo, you're going to freak out nothing at all. Then the therapist is going to introduce a stuffed, friendly-looking spider. And you're going to freak out the first time you see it. Then the second time, you're going to be less freaked out by it. And the third time you see that stuffed spider, you're not really going to have a reaction at all. Then the therapist is going to show you a rubber little spider that looks much more real. And your first time you see it, you're going to freak the hell out. The second time, you're going to kind of freak out. And the third time, you're not going to freak out at all. Then the next time, the therapist is going to show you a spider inside of a glass container. And you're going to freak the hell out the first time. The second time, you're going to moderately freak out. The third time, you're not even going to respond at all. And then the next time you go in, the therapist is just going to have a real live spider on the desk, just wandering around. You're going to freak the hell out. Then the second time, you're going to kind of freak out. And by the third time you get there, the spider doesn't have an effect. Systematic desensitization. It works. It works. It's much kinder. It works on counter conditioning, which I don't think is on there at all. That's what my last class said. All right. Is it on there? Oh, you need aversion therapy.
No, I was just trying to finish that.
Oh, what do you need? Are you good?
No.
Perfect. Who's no?
Wait.
Who's me?
Was
Oh.
That's right. Exam.
Oh, fine. Systematic.
Oh, did you not do a version?
No, I'm getting to it right now.
Oh.
So, does that make sense though? Hello? Okay, the more you see something and then slowly, bit by bit, okay, then you're less likely to freak out by it. Are we good? Perfect. All right, aversion therapy is behavioral therapy when an undesirable behavior is paired with an aversive stimulus. What that means is that every time something bad happens, for instance, some of your peers do this. They have like a rubber band, and every time they think of their old ex-boyfriend or whatever, girlfriend, they smack the rubber band and it hurts them. Yeah? So then eventually you think like, oh my God, every time I think of this person, I think of pain. Some of your peers are that dramatic, by the way. It's so weird.
Can it be like every time you feel pain, then you think of that?
Yeah. That's the whole point. Like, another thing is that, for instance, I really want to buy this nail polish for my husband. If you bite your nail, it's like super nasty. It tastes like, goes well out of its way to taste disgusting. Like, it's built to taste disgusting. So every time you bite your nails, what happens? It tastes absolutely disgusting. I don't know, online. So you have no filter.
I need it. I bite my nails.
Online. And so every time you bite it and you eat it, it tastes absolutely disgusting. So it helps you to not eat it. Another thing would be, I have another good one right here. Would be another aversive therapy.
Shock collar and no.
Yes, that is a good one. That's perfect. Yeah. So anytime, like, when you do a shock collar, it always gives a beep. You give a warning of the beep, and then you shock them. So the first time they wear it, when they hear the beep, they don't get it, and then you shock them, and they're like, and they freak the hell out. Eventually, when they hear the beep, they stop exactly what they're doing because they don't want to get shocked. That would be another way. The invisible dog fences, right? Yes, that would be another one. What do you got, Gabriel?
Is this shock collar illegal in America?
Oh, it's totally legal. You can buy them everywhere.
It's not.
It's not illegal. You can buy them everywhere. Isn't that terrible? Is it? It's not here. Actually, I had a vet tell me I should do that to my dog. We didn't go back to that vet. Because he likes to eat other dogs' poop.
That's
Like,
gross.
he's like actually.
Oh, so like a perfect example of aversion therapy, that's what I'm currently doing with Toby, is that he likes eating other dogs' poop. So when he goes to the dog park, he like runs to find poop. So what I'm doing now in aversive therapy is I literally carry in my little dog purse like a spice thing of chili flakes.
Put it in the food.
No, I run around the whole dog park sprinkling chili flakes on dog poop. So what happens is when he eats it, guess what? His mouth like
Wait, but
is
he actually
engulfed in
chomps,
flames. He eats it.
Like
Yeah.
chomps, not like sniff, like actually.
He
does.
and runs away. It's disgusting. I know. I'm doing everything I can.
Isn't it?
Beating the crap out of the dog has not worked.
Isn't it? That might be a problem while you have stomach problems.
No, it's not.
You're fixing
No,
every
that
dog,
could be a
other
problem.
dog's problem.
If it's a puppy and it eats dog food, there's a disease that.
I am well aware. I have paid thousands of dollars of vet bills to figure it out. Gabriel, I'm currently doing aversion therapy. So one strategy was to beat the crap out of the dog. That did not go well. Every time he grabbed the poop, I'd smack the crap out of him, but he wouldn't stop. So then I have historically I just clean the dog park. I just walk around with bags and I pick up all the turds so my dog doesn't eat them and then get sick because he's allergic to dog food, most dog food, and go to the vet and pay thousands of dollars. So now I'm trying not to be the bad guy, and I'm trying the chili flakes thing, and it's working out really well. I told my vet that I was doing this, and he's like, yeah, that would totally work. It's totally fine. It's just to make the dog uncomfortable.
It's funny because, like, if other dogs have this problem, you're also fixing other owners'
Yes,
problems.
see? This is not bad. Like, it's not bad. My vet approved yesterday. And the vet's like, he cannot be eating other dogs' poop. I know. And when people, when he eats poop at a dog park, and I'm like, Toby Bennett, you're disgusting, because I get so mad, people are like, that is really gross. And I just want to cut them.
No, I'm saying dog eating food is gross.
Obviously, Gabriel. No one here is saying,
He's pointing at me because he thinks I'd be that one person who says.
yeah, and I would be like, I'm going to cut you. Because I obviously know, and I'm so embarrassed by it. Anyway. Flooding! So say, for instance, you were terrified of spiders. You'd be sitting in your therapist's room, and then your therapist would just throw 6 tarantulas on you! And you would freak out, and you would and it would take you hours to recover. But then, at the end of the day, you would survive. And you would be like, damn. Huh?
Heart attack.
But you wouldn't be that as terrified of spiders, though. It's just like when people throw people into the pool for the first time when they don't know how to swim. Technically, that's like flooding. If they have a fear of water and you throw them in the pool and they're like, see, you're not scared. I do not suggest doing this to any person. But technically, it is a therapy style. What do you got?
Do they really supposed to hire them?
Yeah. It's like they don't just you don't go in for the first day like, hi, I'm Sam. I have a fear of spiders. Oh. And they throw it on you. It takes weeks of getting you kind of prepared for it, talking about it, how they're not dangerous and stuff like that, and trying to work you through it. and then they kind of do it at the very end.
Wouldn't they be afraid to share anything else then afterward?
I would think so. I think that would be a pretty traumatic experience, but people do it. It's pretty effective. Think about it. I mean, if you're deathly afraid, see, Maddie's looking it up right now. Like, where is her closest flooding opportunity? She just can't help it, man. She loves AP Psych so much that she constantly has to get on her phone to text everyone about it. Correct, Maddie?
Yeah.
Constantly updating her social media feeds to include the newest information from AP Psych.
I have an account, where I just keep all updated on
It's
this
so nice. That is so nice. And I bet the public really adores you for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. She doesn't learn. That I will.
I finished writing down the stuff, and I get it. If it doesn't work, if it passes the test,
That's amazing.
there's no need to complain.
Oh, hell no.
That's why you should get virtual.
Is it Maddie's?
No, it's not either of ours.
I don't know, Maddie. Are you being thrown into the mix?
No.
Because it easily could have fallen out of your bag in between the two desks. Are you being thrown in?
Valentino
You have to know who it is. You have one artistic kid in the class.
I know who it is because they draw roses on all of their signs.
Ooh.
Wait,
Who is it not caused?
I don't draw roses. I have no idea.
I don't think it's in this
Wait,
class.
is it in this class?
everyone on the
What
back
is
should
it?
just draw roses on the back of the
What?
Everyone should just draw
Yeah, we get all the
roses
times
on
I
the
get all
back.
those.
So, modeling is learning through observation and imitation of others. We do this all the time. We learn from our peers how to act, how to interact between the sexes, for instance. There's always think back to like 3rd, 4th grade. There's always going to be like one boy who's like the popular boy and all the other boys trying to imitate him. There's always one popular girl and all the girls kind of imitate them until they figure out more. Yes. You watch your older brother, older sister interact with the opposite sex, and you kind of model your behavior off them, and pulling all that information is how you, when you have a therapist, they're going to show you like how to interact. A good example is a dating therapist. In China, they have a guy who makes millions a year who takes on people, and the first 2 days, they just watch him interact with women. And he just like walks around a mall and just picks up chicks. And he just has like a gang of men behind him taking notes while he's just sitting there chatting up the ladies. Well, I hope so.
What's the difference between modeling and observational learning?
Modeling is, hey, I'm gonna go talk to that guy over there, Alyssa, and I am going to trick him to wanting my number. And I'm going to go over there, I'm going to start the conversation. It's going to be super passive, like super cute. And at the end, he's going to be dying to take me out. And then I walk over there, and that happens. I'm not cool enough to ever do that in the history of my life. I am not cool at all, so it would never happen. But you would watch me specifically to learn how to do that. Observational learning includes modeling.
I thought that modeling was imitating like
Well, yes, but we're talking about in psychology, and we're talking about therapy. So if you're going to a therapist and you hear their opinion, you're going to seek them for counseling and for help, then you obviously hold them in high esteem, which means you would want to model that behavior. Like, for instance, the way you're chewing your gum right now is really awful. And I would like to model correct behavior for you to inspire you to do it correctly. Are you ready?
Wait, how was he doing it?
Oh, what's he opening?
it's just like bursts of like excitement.
Let me model again. All right, reinforcement is every time someone does something right that you acknowledge it and you say, nice job. So, for instance, my husband is in busy season and he's pretty useless because he's like working like 15 hours a day. Anytime he does something good around the house, I give him positive reinforcement. Why? I want him to do more around the house. So when he, for instance, starts a load of laundry that I've already pretty filled up 90%, but he takes off his gym shorts and puts it in there instead of in the empty laundry basket that You know, I'm like, McCray, thank you so much for starting the laundry. It was so helpful. And McCray will be like, you're welcome. Like it was such like an act of heroism.
You should make Bennett bucks.
No, my husband would find that incredibly condescending. However, like anytime he does anything around the house, I'm always like, oh, wow, thank you so much. But in my head, I'm screaming, you're a grown man. Do your own damn crap. But that's fine. It's not going to work that way. So I'm trying to use positive reinforcement, token economy. Huh?
You nag enough to happen.
No, nagging really isn't a very effective tool. No one wants to listen to that. I don't want to listen to that. Huh?
It works.
No, not long term, sweetie.
Oh, like my mom nags at me for like a good month, and I won't listen to her for a good month, right? Then once the month's over, I'm like, you know what? I just need her to shut up, so I do it.
Yes, but
You
does that
mean a
foster
what?
love and happiness in your relationship or
Well,
not?
she also gives me stuff that comes from love.
Nagging does not work.
Nagging does not work.
Please tell that to my aunt, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Nagging is not an effective way to base our relationship off
Her
of.
mom also gives her stuff.
Yeah, like food,
No,
roof,
no, no.
clothes,
I was
House.
thinking
shoes,
before.
house, water.
You put chili flakes on his side of the bed so they can
I wish. So, token economy is when you give Bennett bucks. Every time my husband does something well, I give him a Bennett buck. Or I just make him a vodka tonic. That would also be a very highly effective token economy. Anytime he does something well, I'll make him a cocktail. That would also make him very motivated. I think I could get all the laundry done in a day. Now, if I started making him old fashions, that would be a game changer. I can get my walls painted. I could get brand new appliances. Whew! Contingency contract is when we write out a formal contract and we both sign it. So, for instance, before maybe next busy season, I make my husband sign a contingency contract, which means that he will do the dishes at least once a week. That he will maybe even make dinner once a week. He will maybe acknowledge that housework gets done with no involvement from him. Maybe he'll start a load of laundry. I won't ask him to fold it and put it away because he can't. Apparently. No, he's like completely useless. It's like I have like a 5-year-old child I'm taking care of at home. He's useless.
He's cute, right?
He's very cute, and that's why I keep him. No, he doesn't.
That's it.
Because he's in busy season. He got off his computer at like 10:30 last night.
Oh,
He's a CPA.
yeah.
He's got 8 more jobs to issue by April 15th. So, no, he's just dying inside. So, extinction. How did we refer to extinction when we talked about Pavlov? Does anyone know? Elijah?
You stop offering.
Okay, so in using Pavlov as the example, what would be an example of extinction?
If you ring the bell without food enough time, dogs won't salivate.
So I ring the bell and what will happen?
Uh,
Nothing. Nothing will happen. The dog is going to be like, what? Okay, so timeout is an extinction process in which a person is removed from the situation. So they feel like they're losing out. Every single person in this room has gotten timeout at some point, correct? I've also gotten the belt a couple times. Mostly soap, though. That was my mom's favorite. What? The shoes? Sandals? Yeah, there we go. On the butt or on the leg?
everywhere.
Everywhere? There you go.
Exposed business.
Exactly.
It's nice that it's conveniently there. You can just take it off and start. It was a whole big thing to get the belt.
I gotta make you choose.
Between the belt and that is a pretty effective way because you gotta make the decision.
It's like this. It's like the pop is out like more hits, but it's like less painful. Like the belt.
Nah, it's
The belt less hits. Look at the wrist.
All right, so behavior therapies are effective in treating specific problems, but not overall. Like if you are depressed, would behavioral therapies really help you that much? Not really. I mean, the token economy for every time that you do something, you take your medication on time, right? Every single day you take your medication, that may help. But in the broad spectrum, probably not. If you were sexually assaulted, is this going to help you? Probably not. I mean, modeling how to kind of get back into society and try to maybe, but it's not going to be the most effective. But cognitive therapy is. 8 is where I'm filling this in for you. Now, cognitive therapy is in when the focus is on the client's ability to recognize their disordered thinking. How much time do I have?
You got about 12 minutes.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm enjoying our time so much. I would hate for it to end.
Stop right now. Just hold a moment of silence, like 5 minutes.
You can't hold a moment of silence.
Bet.
See? Ooh, cognitive therapy is when the client is forced to recognize their illogical thinking patterns. So every person in this room has a friend who's like super dramatic. Yes? If you can't think of a friend who's super dramatic, then congratulations, you are the friend who is super dramatic. If you can't come up with one, then you are it. Have you ever had to talk that friend like off a ledge of like some crazy lunatic plan and you're like, oh my God, this person hates me. Why? Well, she looked at me on the side eye. Okay, why would she look at you at the side eye? I don't know. Maybe she's jealous of me. Why would they be jealous of you? Well, I don't know. Okay, so this is illogical. And you would walk them down that path. That's cognitive therapy. When you kind of walk them back through it. What? Cognitive distortion on Beck. Now this is also part of 8. How do they do it? How does it all work together? Right? Yes. What are the 5 major components? There's the first 2. I got 3 more coming. Friends. Okay. First one is arbitrary inference. It's when a person draws conclusions that are not based on any evidence. Like for instance, I'm thinking. My thinking face. I have a kid that I've never met before who came up to me I had a kid this year say that a kid I've never met before thinks I hate them and I target them. I've never interacted with this person in a moment in my life. That would be an arbitrary inference.
I know something.
What? Who thinks I hate them?
No. That they think I hate them, even though I've never talked to them.
You never talked to him. You have never spent a moment of your thoughts thinking of that
I looked
person.
at him one time. One time.
Was it a side eye like? Ugh.
I mean, I stared him down, but like.
Morgan.
I have a friend who thinks you hate him. And he's,
That's awesome.
because you
Don't
were-
ruin it.
You said you didn't know, like, he tried to say hi to you, and he's like, I don't know you, and you walked away.
That seems like a very logical thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Does that not? It goes exactly with my personality. Yeah, I don't know you. I don't have time. To know me on a personal level, what you see sitting in class right here is so weird. Because this is not like talking to this many people at the same time in my social life would never happen. I don't like going out. I'm like very, very quiet. So when I'm not in front of my classroom, in front of my kids, I don't know these people. Don't talk to me.
That's what you told him. So now you like.
So if we see you outside class.
I don't. I won't.
But you're closing yourself off. Maybe you should go to a psychiatrist.
Absolutely, girl. You can pay for it, then I will go. I would love to
How
go.
much is it cost?
It's like, depends on your insurance. Bye, guys. If I could go to a therapist on like a weekly basis, I totally would go. It is so nice. Like you feel so much better after going.
Awkward when I went.
Why? Because you haven't created the relationship.
Well, not even that. Like, I've been to like 4 different ones.
You just didn't find your need.
Like the one I did like, she had open heart surgery.